Grega, welcome to Hodl TV.
Thank you.
Can you just briefly introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
Sure.
I know you're the CEO, but just in your own words.
Yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of AirPod Project. I've been involved in AirPod for more than 2 years now, and we are doing an ICO.
So AirPod, can you tell us about the AirPod? And just for the audience, so not to confuse the audience, this is not Apple's earpiece,
no.
Right? Did you have trouble with the name at all?
Actually not. We have registered the brand more than a year ago,
okay.
I believe a year and a half, and due to different categories where you actually register the brand, we have been able to register it very easily.
Okay.
Yeah. The first question was, what is the AirPod?
Tell us about the AirPod.
Yeah.
What is
well,
it?
the AirPod is the product where we want people to feel relaxed. We want people to spend some time while waiting for example, transit flights between airports. We see our product much wider than it will be originally implemented into market.
Okay.
We see our product in bus stations, railway stations, business centers, even shopping centers. And we just today we received an inquiry from one of the biggest fairs in United States of America.
One of the biggest, sorry?
One of the biggest fairs.
Okay.
So they asked us to send them an offer about our product. But it's still a couple of steps before we actually do that.
So the AirPod is a capsule.
Yeah.
Right? So it's talking about the product. There are existing pods already on the market, correct?
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, the first one was introduced in 5 years ago, maybe 2013, on the Abu Dhabi airport, for example? Because you're starting with airports, or?
So the first similar product was introduced to Helsinki airport from some competitive company. But
are they the Go Sleep pods?
Yeah, it's a Go Sleep sleeping pod, but this is the first generation of such products introduced to the market.
Okay, what does that mean, first generation?
Like, this was the first product that actually fits in category of sleeping pods.
Okay.
And what we want to do with our product is to be not 2 or 3, like 5 steps ahead of competitive products.
And what does that mean? So what does the AirPod have, or what will it have compared to the existing pods on the market that are on now?
We kind of turned the logic around. You know, we didn't put together the product where what we think is right, but we asked thousands of people. We made the deep research about what people actually need while they are in different situations, different positions, you know, waiting for example, at the airports. And we gathered all that information and we put it into sort of combination of what we are trying to do. And we are building a product that will not just, it will not be just a product, we're selling an experience. We are trying to put people, while waiting in any public place, we are trying to give them an experience like a Zen kind of mode, you know? That when they use our product, they will be gladly saying to others, look, you have to try this. This is very, very good. I've been so relaxed. I had such a good time. The time passed so fast. You know, you have all these features and so on and so on. So you're talking about this experience. Tell us about the experience. So if I'm a passenger and I sit into this capsule, what happens? What are my options? What do I do? What can I do? Well, first you can pre-book or book on the spot, you know, before you actually enter the AirPod.
And how do I do that?
You can do it via the application that we are developing on your cell phone. You can do it via web, it's like a booking.com, or you can just do it on the spot, you know, just in front of the product.
Sure.
So you reserve it, depends, you can reserve for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and so on. Then when you enter, you have all of different features. You know, you can either, we have integrated anti-stress technology, which is backed by a lot of scientists. We included the technology that will actually be able to relax you. We are putting in online streaming programs such as Amazon Fire TV, Netflix. We are putting in a very secured and fast wireless internet, because usually, you know, when you are at the airport and you just get that half or 1 hour for free,
right,
but all the other or extended time you have to pay for it.
Sure.
We are putting this, or looking at it from a different perspective. You know, people need Wi-Fi. You know, we are in a modern age, and people just look where to connect.
Sure.
So I want to tell more about, you know, we are putting in a secure Wi-Fi, because public Wi-Fi is usually, especially for business travelers, it's, you know, a no-go. And we want to make that possible as well. Other than that, we are putting in a ergonomic chair which transforms into bed. We are putting in LED lights which will kind of relax you, as I mentioned previously, and you know, all the other stuff that comes along with what we have done the research on.
So you mentioned the comfort, the de-stress. So, because this is a capsule, right? So what about people if they have trouble staying in a confined space, right? Like claustrophobia, for example. That
was the first thing that we did just after we sketched the product, because I was worrying about going into a product where you feel not comfortable.
Confined.
And what we did, the first thing was a wooden type of product, a wooden type of, we call it a mock-up, and just to test the physical properties. How do you feel? Is it, you know, you have enough space above your head?
Sure.
Do you have left and right? Actually, what we are trying to do is to not that you don't feel claustrophobic. We are putting glass on the rear front of the AirPod, and on the left and on the right, which of course people cannot see in, but you can see out.
Right, you can see out.
Yeah, you can even beam. You can beam the glass so you cannot see outside as well. But I have to tell you, there's more than enough space within. One of the reasons is also the base of AirPod, the interior of AirPod was made on the basis of airplane, the first class seat on the airplane, and we extended that a little bit.
Interesting. So you also mentioned the aesthetic part, the design. So you've thought about everything, the feedback from people, from passengers. It sounds like but this is meant for an individual.
Yeah.
Is it meant for one person to go in?
We are starting with one person product. I mean, for one person.
Okay.
But we're already thinking about making a two-person AirPod, and after that we're thinking on doing a family. But it's so many steps from now till then. But the next generation is going to be for two persons. Why we decided to do a one-person product AirPod, because from the research that we have made, more than 60% of people are traveling alone. So that was one of the reasons.
Sure. Yeah. Because from a stress level, you would argue if you have a family and you have screaming children you want to, that's actually it's a big, it's a big factor.
It's a big
when
factor.
You travel.
Yeah. I agree.
Question about what made you decide to fund the project through an ICO? Why not conventional ways of raising money?
We had an opportunity to take the money from VC. It was last year in May. Well, it's like a year ago. And I made a decision because I knew that we would get few millions, but I want this product to be number one product instantly. And for me to do that, I need much more money. And taking that money from the VC, putting the equity in certain amount, and then doing, additional fundraising, that would mean that I would probably soon lose control on my company. So the ICO came this is like a latest or the trendy thing to raise money, or
Right.
it's people are doing that. It's supposed to be easier, but it's really not. I have to tell you, but it's
Why?
a combination of situations. I don't know how to put it, but it all came to a certain. My decision was that this is optimal way of raising funds.
Why is it not easier? You mentioned it's not easier.
Because industry is changing so fast. It's not, when you do a business plan, you stick to, you have deviation left, right. But here, like every 2 weeks, some changes come and something works, and you have to change the strategy on many levels, and it's not really easy running an ICO. Maybe it was half a year ago, but it's not easy.
How is it accepted in the Slovenian community that you're doing an ICO? Or, how is it accepted in general?
Well, at the beginning,
Slovenia first.
Slovenia, yeah. It was not accepted very well because we are, let's say, untypical ICO project. Our product doesn't really need blockchain to function. But where the blockchain really comes in our case, is we are trying to build a business model on a global level. And this is where blockchain really helps us, because we want, same as, I had an opportunity to put equity to VC, but what I'm doing now, I'm giving same opportunity through blockchain to ICO contributors. So for that reason, I need blockchain, because if I want to make a economy share type of business, blockchain really helps me.
Where else does blockchain help you? Do you need it for your token? Because you also have a token. Correct?
Yeah, of course, people can pay. The primary use of our token is to pay for the AirPod. But I'm very well aware that people are not going to buy token to rent our AirPod. So this is why we're enabling credit card and fiat as well.
Sure.
But of course, if we want to do, if we are integrating blockchain, we have to do tokenization. That means that our economy has to be driven by the AirPod token, our own currency. And while we are doing that, we are putting this together in a way that, as I previously mentioned, we are trying to, what we are enabling is our ICO contributors can be part of our shared profit economy. So the easiest way, or the simplest way, and the fastest and the cheapest and the most transparent way to do that is through tokenization and blockchain.
Does one need the token in order to rent the AirPod or the AirPod?
No. If you're a regular traveler, if you're a regular traveler, you came to the airport, or you pre-booked, or you booked on the spot, you don't need AirPod token. But what our system does is behind of, this is what people don't see, because it's happening behind our systems. When you pay for the rent, our money is then being used to buy our AirPod tokens, and we have a certain technical execution that we do behind of all, and this is how our AirPod economy is driven.
Are your competitors in blockchain at all? The pods that exist, do they use tokenization or no?
No. You mean the competitors?
The competitors, exactly.
No, not even close. We're actually one of the first projects, or by my belief, one of the first that are actually doing a real product in a real, not something, we're not building a platform which is gonna be only as existing in computers, but we are actually trying to combine real product, real business, and a platform which will unite, because we are developing a decentralized application platform, it's like a simple application where you'll be able to see all of our AirPods that are being installed through international airports worldwide.
So we previously talked about maybe that this will not only be in airports. You're first targeting airports.
Yeah.
Are you targeting specific airports?
Sure.
Like you're starting where, in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, or how does?
By doing a research, there's more than 50,000 airports around the globe, and The ones that we target is a little bit more than 280. These airports were handpicked because we need a certain frequency.
Sure.
Of
busy airports.
Busy airports, and it needs to be international, where transit travelers are going through. And we also look for the international airports where the percentage of transit travelers is high enough. So we really are putting our product into like 0.something% of all airports around the globe.
And if I wanted to partner with you, for example, and offer you the opportunity to put the AirPod in a shopping mall,
okay,
is that also where you think your business model will go?
Yeah, this is where we're going. We have 3 stages of our project. The first one is just to build the distribution and start the economy, deconization. The second stage is where we put all the people who supported us, we give them an opportunity to exchange those tokens for the right to participate in profits generated by all of that units that are being installed through the global airports. And the third stage is similar to Uber business model, where we ask, or not ask, but we give people opportunity to own their own, let's say, business, franchise, and so on. Because we have developed a product, we have developed a platform through which you can manage everything. We are giving people opportunity in case they have an option to put, as you said, AirPod within the shopping center. We are putting you a chance to do that. You just have to go on our website. This is of course not done yet, it's still work in progress, but you'll be able to fill the form, choose the location. We'll have a third-party authorization partner who will be checking the proposed location, and after that is done, we are gonna ship you the AirPod. You're gonna just place it where the location you chose is supposed to be, plug it into electricity, connect it to internet, and you have your own business.
You mentioned distribution building, right? That this is where you're kind of starting. So based on distribution, does this have anything to do with your competitive advantage, maybe, compared to other?
You're referring to our distribution, you mean within international airports?
Yes.
Yeah, this is where I believe we really are kind of different from the competitive companies, because I found out that, I was wondering how is this business even functioning? How are the companies doing that? How are our competitors doing that? And I found out that they're relatively small companies. Some they have good products, some bad products even. But what the interesting part was that they are doing it airport by airport. And when I was doing a research, I found out that going single airport per single it's impossible. If you want to do it on a global scale, and if you want to do it fast, and if you have responsibility towards investors, because they're not going to wait 30 years to so you make the business and they will earn something.
Sure.
So I found out that going to the airport, you have the owner, you have operator, you have companies who rent, and it's impossible. You don't know who to talk to, and it's case by case. So what we are doing is we made an agreement with a company who is going to help us build the distribution. They have been in industry for more than 30 years. I cannot disclose their name yet because we have signed an NDA with them, and
confidentiality.
Confidentiality reasons. And what we are doing here is they have a global network of international airports. They're present on more than 1,000 airports. Our target is a little bit more than 280. So we already have a network of airports in place. We just have to raise funds, produce products, and make the distribution. So this is where we differ from our competitors.
Would you say, do you have any key partners throughout this whole process? Okay, you mentioned this is the distribution
part. This is, let's say, business-wise.
This is the business model side, right?
So we have one on a business side. Currently, we don't need more. It's a global company, but we have many business partners on production side. One of our main partners is Clun Architects.
Right.
He's a leading developer and watching all processes that we have to do and fulfill for the mass production of our product.
And this is the actual designer of the
This is,
AirPod?
let's say, he as a company and people involved and subcontracting companies who he works with are, let's say, one entity who is going to put our product or make our product a reality. There are more than 15 companies working with them. I can mention some, Boxmark.
So for the interior design
and for research and development of each component of the AirPod, because we were actually doing this from scratch. We are not buying from the market and putting it together, but we're actually doing all the research and development by ourselves.
Do you have a prototype already, or
we have?
Where are you in the process?
Yeah, as I previously said, we have a mock-up. This is like a wooden type, but it's not really a prototype. I cannot call it a prototype. What we're doing currently, and it will be probably available till mid of August. It's a real working prototype, like a beta product, which you can sit in, you can test, you can actually feel the functionality and so on.
So your plan to present it to the public is towards the end of the year?
Well,
or
the first step, of course, is a prototype, as we talked about. Then the second stage is beginning of September, where we have to produce about 10 to 15 AirPods, where they are going to be placed in Gatwick Airport.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is our commercial test, where we get a feedback from users. We have to do a fine tuning before we actually start the mass production.
Is there a plan how many AirPods you're planning on putting there first, or?
Well, as for commercial test, we are planning to put 10 to 15, but when this is for start. But this is not business yet. This is just a test.
Testing phase.
Yeah, and after we are done with that, we are planning to produce as much as possible. Well, the plan is to produce 1,000 or more than 1,000 AirPods in 2019.
So that's my question. What's your expansion plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, for example?
The first plan is to be fully introduced in, let's say, airports facilities. And the second stage is to expand out of the borders of the airports. Of course, as I said, business centers, shopping centers, railway stations, and the dot on I is the third stage of our project, where we give power to the people. Please tell us, where do you want our product to be? And this is where I see like a global expansion, where by our, let's say, plans, we believe that there is possibility to put more than 10,000 AirPods within 5 years.
Okay. So we've talked about the design, we've talked about you're making this prototype. Technology changes super fast. Is there a life expectancy of this AirPod? Once you design it, is it going to be adaptable? I would assume software-wise.
Software is upgrade type of thing.
Right.
But concerning all the physical parts of the AirPod, we are building it in a way to that it lasts about 15 to 20 years.
Okay.
All the parts.
Okay.
Of course, there are some, like a seat, it's gonna be replaceable before that, but all the other parts are chosen that way.
Do you have any current setbacks in the manufacturing process?
There are always setbacks. Well, not really. We have some challenges, but me as a CEO, I want to include people who are the real experts of what they do. And in terms of manufacturing process, we are employing some people who are really good. They know what they are doing. They have been working with big companies and they're coming on board with us. So, of course, every startup has some setbacks, but
Sure.
I believe that we are managing it properly.
You're choosing your employees wisely.
Sure.
Yeah, can you tell us just a little bit more about your team?
Well, the core team is about 8 people. Of course, the
Okay.
extension,
Sure.
or let me say the people that work on the project is more than 30, I believe.
The support.
The support and so on. But after the ICO, we'll be opening some positions that are not currently, let's say, they are not currently yet here. And especially marketing department, which is different from the marketing what we are doing within the ICO process. But other than that, we're going to employ a lot of people in the future.
Well, I'm excited to see this prototype. I have one last question. Just if I were to put myself in the position of a passenger, how will you ensure that these AirPods will be clean, for example, for the next user? You know, we've talked about the experience and everything it will offer. But what about the cleanliness? You know, they're going to be used passengers are going to be going one after another.
Yeah.
Thought about.
We know this is a public place. People
Yes.
are going in, people are going
Yes.
out, and the frequency can be huge.
Exactly.
And what we are doing is we are integrating a couple of systems. The first one is LED lights. A German company who does that. There's LED lights who disinfect all inner surfaces, and they actually turn on after you left the AirPod.
The actual lights disinfect.
Yeah, the lights disinfect
Oh, wow.
all inner surfaces. It's similar to what you have been experienced maybe in a hospital. And I believe airplanes, big airplanes going through from Europe to America are using that as well. It's relatively new technology.
It is, yeah.
So this is the first step. The second step is we have integrated a scent machine, which will actually be eliminating all the unpleasant smells.
Okay,
And
sure.
yeah, that's, you know,
With travelers, I think that's.
yeah, with travelers and with travelers from all around the world, it can be
Sure.
very challenging. So, and the last step we couldn't avoid, of course, is the physical check by our staff at the airport, which in a combination with our partner is very good agreement. This is very good agreement that we have with them. So we are actually using their stuff for one of our need to do things within our product as well. So this is the last physical check after user leaves the AirPod.
So you've thought about all these aspects, even the maintenance part. 'Cause the maintenance part is going to be, I would say, very important.
Yeah, what we do, of course, we want to keep our product running all time. So what we do is we make, before we actually install the AirPod, we have the full list of all components, and we know exactly, because the supplier is guaranteeing us what the life expectancy of such or material or whatever is. So to prevent a possible breakdown, we are planning to have a maintenance team that is going to be available, or which is going to be available in any place in the world within 24-48 hours, replace the potentially breakable part, and this is how we kind of take care of maintenance.
Well, great. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't covered?
Well, I think that we covered most of.
Or just how would you? Is there anything you want to say to our audience?
I just want to add, maybe for all the people that are going to watch this video, that support us.
Sure. Sure. Great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Grega.
Thank you.
We hope you liked today's discussion and learned something new. If you like what we talked about today, subscribe to our YouTube channel, HODLtv.com, and enter a prize contest. Like our link below and answer a short question from our video. Today's contest question is, what is the name of the AirPods token? I'm Nina Cera, this is HODL TV, and remember, you are in control over your investment decisions. You can follow us on HODLtv.com, Steemit, YouTube, and Facebook. HODL TV will airdrop 10 prizes worth $100 each in tokens from the company presented in our video. 10 additional prizes worth $100 each will be given to our subscribers that will fill out a short survey on HODLtv.com. If you would like us to present your project, contact us at info@HODLtv.com.